What's up, everybody? It's your favorite train jumper's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Fanstoys Hitch, their take on Hoist. And the reason why I say train jumper is because one of my dear friends used to be like a bit of a hobo. Super interesting dude. And every hobo has like a train jumper name, like that you tag onto the trains as you ride. He went across country, he did all sorts of stuff, but his was Hitch and Bow. So that's where that kind of ties in for me. Neither here nor there. We're gonna take a look at this guy. I got it from Nick the Toy Guy. His contact information is in the description at the very top. He's an awesome dude to do business with. He's also on the East Coast, which helps us get it pretty quickly. So if you are in the market for Fanstoys products, hit him up. Tell him Skully sent you. With that being said, we're going to take a look at this guy, but in order to do so, we need to look at accessories. So he comes with that thing from that episode, and it is the alien head for Hoist Goes to Hollywood with the kind of eyes painted on and the teeth are painted. Other than that, just simple sculpt. And that just slides on the head with a little bit of tension. Be careful because of potential paint issues, but that's how it works. He comes with 2 additional head sculpts. This one's the toy kind of take on it, and it looks really cool. A lot of sculpted detail and stuff. Looks very, very cool. And this one is pretty much the same G1 cartoon, except it has the kind of cannon attached to the head, which I actually think is a pretty smart idea because it allows for more movement. And I may actually switch that out. It looks like it's just on a ball peg. So I may actually switch that out. But the other thing is like you lose the metal look of the one that's on there. So I don't know. But either way, interesting and thoughtful kind of accessory there. He also comes with an additional hand. The articulation is the same on the other hand. We'll just go over it now. The wrist is a ball peg, so you get the swivel, and then you get inward-outward motion as well. Thumb is on a baseball peg that comes out to a single hinge, and then the fingers are on 2 hinges with slight typewriter fingers. Not the worst I've ever seen, but still not optimal. And yes, let me show you how to use this. So you got to take off these 2 pieces. We're just going to set them to the side for a second. And then this piece slides off. It's like on a little lock and key type a bit. And then you can slide on your hand. And to be fair, you want to take the hand off. And then you can really just put this back on, I think. Or maybe not. The one with the R goes on first. And then there's a groove that has to lock in here. And then you just attach your hand. And you got 2 working hands. This is mainly for the Hoist Goes to Hollywood bit. But if you want 2 hands, you can use it for that as well. So before we take a look at this fella, in typical Fanstoys fashion, he comes mistransformed. I'm going to wait for final thoughts. I have a lot to say about this, but bicep swivels this way on both arms. It'll be fairly obvious because the elbows will be facing you. Rotate the hand down and orient the thumb and all of that. Let's see what else we can do. In the back here, we got to open up all of this, and there's actually like a number of flaps that need to be flipped. These 2 need to stay up, and then these, and I know there's an easier way to get to this, but it's giving me a little bit of grief here at the moment. Bless, I finally got it, but it was in there. So they're here. And this is purely for aesthetics, these here. And you got these up here. And then we're going to collapse all of this back down. Keep this panel out of the way. And sort of slide that in. And then this will tab in to that piece of die cast right here. And then we can rotate the waist 180. And the head has a tendency to pop up. It also isn't sitting flush in package. You can get it pretty close in my opinion, but I still have not been able to get it. Let's see. I'm going to give her all I've got. You ready? You know, Still can't get it. I guess that's pretty flush there. I think that's the best I'm going to get either way. So let's get in on the head sculpt for Dennis. I think it's great. I think a lot of character comes through in it. He can give you a little top of the morning to you. I think it's well done. And that just came off of there. So if this comes off yours, there's a tab in the back there that can tab in. The head is... We'll just leave it off for now. What do you say? The head is on a ball peg, for better or worse. You get up to there, down to there, swivel, and a bit of a confused hoist look. I'm not so crazy about that. And it's painted. The body is painted also, and it is a metallic green, but it is a bit more subtle than I would have hoped. That's not to say it looks bad, it doesn't. But it's perhaps not as flashy as I would have preferred. That's a personal preference thing. The arms are basically universals. You can get up to about 90 degrees, a little shy, to be fair, but pretty close, and then 360 around. And that's it. You can get a bicep swivel. You can get a single hinged elbow, some decent sculpt work with just the flat green paint as well as the silver paint. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the deco of this guy. It's very, very, very plain. It's very, very, very basic. I know that's what some people want. It's just not necessarily what I want. Other side, same thing. You know, single hinged elbow. Nothing really to write home about. You can extend this blaster here if you want. You know, there's a number of different little configurations aesthetically, whichever is most pleasing to you. Nice chrome on the bumper. We'll talk about that a bit more in truck mode. Waist swivel. We have hips. They are, on mine anyway, loose as a spruce goose. You know what I mean? You do get the full Van Damme. You get that far forward and back, which I think is ultimately fine because the back leg movement isn't really necessary often. More often than not anyway. But just very loose hips on mine. Thigh swivel. Single hinge knee that gets you past 90 degrees, so I like that. I also like the chrome on the legs. It makes me kind of wish they did chrome on the arms. Like, I think it would have matched and looked a bit better. But I do like it. And then we have a little bit of silver down here on the feet, which looks good as well. Speaking of which, no ankle tilt down, a little bit of one up, and a rocker. Not a great rocker either, but a rocker with some silver paint accents. Of course, the chrome on the wheels, I got QC21 for better or worse. We'll see how it plays out. There he is from the back. I don't know. It's fine, but I'm not necessarily wowed by it. You know, having spent a little bit of time with it, I'm not really wowed by it. Size comparison wise, there he is with the X Transbots. So, you know, a good bit taller, probably because it doesn't change a lot of the proportions as much with the kind of Trailbreaker, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's look at both. So there's all four, you know, and they do change the height a bit on the Hoist, on the Fanstoys Hoist, but not as significantly as they do with the X Transbot. So pretty interesting nonetheless, the difference in approach. But let's show exactly how far as we transform him. All right, so let's transform him. You can pull the head piece up. At that point, you can take off this die-cast thing, take the hat, the good top of the morning to you, and lift it up, and then turn the head around, and then place the die-cast piece back on. You can transform it with the other head on as well. With this one, you just flip that up and turn it around, I think. I haven't actually done it, so I'm guessing it works the same way. Subject matter expert. All right, let's continue. So, take this, lift all this up. You want to separate the backpack. You want to form the tailgate, which complies of is comprised of bringing these two pieces around, bringing this piece down, untabbing it from the back there, and then it's on a double hinge. Oh, I'm sorry, single hinge here, single hinge there. Oh no, double hinge there, and then that will come down and tab in. It also helps to push up this piece, which is the slider it resides in. You can move your wings out of the way. And, you know, fold this piece over and open this piece up. And then we're going to kind of straighten this out. We're going to take the head. We're going to rotate it in. This is going to slide all the way back and then all the way down. And then sit right kind of behind or on top of the head, and then this piece comes back down, tabs back in to where it was originally, and that's sort of the whole back. Flip in the panels that we flipped out for robot mode, which are these two. There's also two down here that you can flip in. And then we have to rotate these arms. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this in where this cape, like arm cape, connects to the shoulder. Disconnect that. We're gonna bring the arm in. We're gonna rotate the bicep so that the elbow faces up. But we're gonna also rotate the shoulder towards the joint. So it's a couple things that have to rotate. It's relatively intuitive because it needs to take up half the space. And then we're gonna fold this window down and we're going to connect all of this. And I just need to be able to see what I am doing. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on this arm. We're gonna disconnect our shoulder cape, extend our window. We're gonna rotate this in. As we do so, we're gonna rotate the shoulder back towards the joint and the elbow up towards the sky. We're gonna collapse our barrel as far as it'll go. Tuck all of that in so it sits nicely beside our hand, and then pray that we can get this lined up. And moments like this remind me of a comment I once saw that said Bobby doesn't transform figures, he bends them to his will. But there. And I'll get it cleaned up a little bit more, but that's it. Collapse these pieces on the bottom of the... and then collapse the toe down. And take... actually, you can do this now, too. There's... just make sure that the wheels are rotated around so that they'll clear. Take this... rotate that down. Rotate that down. And then the only other thing that you really have to do is take this piece here, spin it out, fold in the long flap, fold up the little flap. And then on this leg, you have a little tab on the inside. So, same on this side, fold in the long flap, fold up the little flap, spin that around. And then you want to collapse the hips up, because where the universal joint is basically a double hinge. Bring it all together and secure it with the tab that you flipped up from the inner calf. And then the Fanstoys moment of truth, right? So you really need to make sure that these two tabs here clear everything. We're just gonna bring it down. There. Whew. It's always like, God bless. I'll get it cleaned up. We'll take a look at it. And there it is. It rolls. I love the chrome rims. I love the chrome bumper, the headlights, the turn signals, etc. I think all that works great. The black stripe with the yellow lines looks sharp. The red warning kind of caution deco on the back looks good. And let's see, and then we have kind of the doors open, you know, to reveal like no space to sit, obviously, but they do open. And let's see, and then we have our kind of our little trailer here in the back, our hitch, as it were. You know, you can get this down and kind of hitch somebody along, I suppose. So, you know, everything, I guess, kind of works as it should, you know, for lack of a better term. Nothing really exciting necessarily to say. You can also, like, flip this if you like this better. You can have it that way, but I think it's supposed to be like this. I think some people can be particular about the green, though. So, I don't know. I don't know what's in the cartoon. I know that that's what gets you guys juices flowing in the morning. So, let me see where Tiger Tracks is at. Bam. There he is next to him. So, fits right in line. Final thoughts-wise, we'll start with the negatives. I don't like that the chrome doesn't match with the silver on the arms. It kind of looks mismatchy to me. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's something I do want to point out. I don't like that on this head option, when you turn the head, it kind of bumps out the little thing that sits behind it. But they did offer you a fix for that, so that's not really the biggest deal either with the alternate head. I have some build issues, which I'm not used to. My hips are loose, and so are my ball pegs on my wrists. And there's also a lot of limitations in articulation, 90-degree elbows, just a little bit beyond 90-degree knees, limited ankle rockers, no ab crunch, shoulders don't get out to really 90 degree. Like, there's just a lot of like kind of like almost there, stay on target articulation points. I also find it to be kind of bland, and I know that that goes back to the design, but I feel like if they would have given it a little bit more accents, it would have helped. Also, if they would have put little hinges and stuff like here where you could have bent up the kind of arm capes or whatever they are a little bit, I think that that would have helped. Just a number of little things, man. It's not my favorite release of theirs, I will say that. And negatives wise, I think that's really all I have. There's some bit with the transformation where you have to have it exact, you know, and there's a lot of like double hinges and stuff, but I think there's far more positive there than there are negatives in regards to things to say about it, so let's just move on to that. As for the positives, there are plenty. I mean, it is very clean. It is painted and decoed beautifully. I do love the chrome. It has all the basic articulation in a very antiquated sense. The proportions are cool. They're probably too cool for Hoist, but I like that. I'm okay when they take a stupid character and make him look a little cooler. I know some people want the stupid characters to look stupid, you know what I mean? Because that's what they're attached to nostalgically, and that totally makes sense for me. But for me, I kind of like that he doesn't look stupid, or as stupid, I should say. Comes with a very bare bones batch of accessories, but they're all appropriate, and some even offer interesting solutions to problems that the figure has, in my opinion. And it's a nice sculpt for what it is. The transformation is pretty straightforward and relatively easy, specifically for a Fanstoys transformation, especially. You do have to make sure that everything's kind of lined up and there's not a lot of wiggle room for error, but for a Fanstoys transformation, I'll take it. It's something that they've really gotten better at recently. You know, in the same way that I was quick to criticize them about their articulation getting left in the dust and in some cases getting worse, in the same breath I had to commend them when they're doing something right. And their transformations are getting good, fun, and easy, intuitive, enjoyable, rewarding, all of the things that I like to say about a good transformation. You know, not easy in the sense of being simple, it's easy in the sense of not being frustrating. And I mean, the alt mode looks legit. It actually looks pretty kind of realistic. I think the chrome details sort of add to that as well, so I dig that also. So yeah, it's a recommend for me, just not one of their most impressive pieces to date. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, until next time, take care.